Hello. I made my first video game in only 3 weeks with no prior experience. I had no idea how to code, make art or make music, sorta. And this is how I did it. This has been a hell of an experience, so consider liking and subscribing, though you should probably watch the video first, shouldn't you? Speaking of which, pre-developing. As I said in the intro, I don't know how to code, and I'm poor, so I decided to use Develop 5 as my engine of choice, as it is an open source, cross-platform game engine that has uses visual scripting. I recommend it to absolute beginners who don't know how to code and also is poor. I originally wanted to make Doodle Jump, but like sorta maybe different, but I had no idea how to do that, so with a player character and platforms already made, I decided to do something different. I played around with a couple ideas and I decided to make a game where, game idea. You play as unnamed character who has to jump on platforms that spawn at random locations to collect coins whilst avoiding enemies. I have decided to name the enemies baddies because I am unoriginal and creatively starved. The game is high score based, which is something I picked because I wanted to make something small but replayable. Know that I have my game idea and game engine, know it's time to actually make the game. Making of the game. Week 1. In week 1, I basically made what I just described. As you can see, it's pretty bare bones. There wasn't any sounds and barely any visuals. All I wanted to do in week 1 was to make the main gameplay loop of the game to see if it was fun to play. As you can tell by the fact I'm making this video, it was fun to play. That's basically it for week 1, the main gameplay loop of a game. That's it. Week 2. In week 2, I made a title screen and options. I also gave the game a visual overhaul, making everything sky themed. I made the platforms into small, fluffy clouds, I made the logo into a big fluffy cloud, and I made the player a bunny, which is close enough to a cloud. I also added moderately fluffy background clouds to make the background more interesting. I made the coins pink, and I only gave the baddies a red circle that encases them because they've been bad, as you can probably infer. I added a new type of baddie that moves toward your position. I did this because I wanted something more fast-paced for my gameplay. I also added a pause button and a medkit that spawns like how enemies and coins spawn. I even added particles to improve the visuals and make collisions more satisfying. This is also the time where I renamed my game into Cloud Jumpers. The original name was Dude Jump. Fun fact. There's also a shop, but it's not an actual shop, it's just a Week 3. In week 3, I completed the game, yay. I implemented an actual shop that doesn't scream at you, I hope. I implemented customization, which is just changing the color of the background because I have deadlines. But the main attraction of the shop is the mods. Mods change the gameplay up in interesting and varying. I came up with the idea after wanting to implement a hard mode and have it buyable with coins that the player collects in the shop. When I added it to the shop, I had the idea of other modes I add to the game, like one with falling clouds, or one where medkits don't spawn, so I decided to make more modes. I later changed the name modes to mods because I felt like it fit better with how it was implemented. Also, making pixel art is hard and I don't want to do it again. Anyways, other than the mods and the shop, I also added music and sound effects. I used LMMS to make the music and SFXR to make the sound effects. For the music, I don't have much to comment on about the music. I did make music for a Scrap Friday Night Funkin' mod, but that's basically it for previous music making experiences. I'm basically an amateur, so if you think the music sucks, that's why. For the sound effects, I just pressed some buttons in SFXR and it worked, so not much to comment on. I also made it so that it is playable on mobile devices as well, though I don't plan on releasing an Android version, mostly because the controls are pretty bad. Though if you, for whatever reason, want to play the mobile version, you can play it on the web version, on your phone. Speaking of playing my game, releasing the game, and after that, I finally released my game a little under 3 weeks from when I started. I released it on itch.io and GameJolt. Why did I pick itch.io and GameJolt as my stores of choice? Well, 1, itch.io and GameJolt are used by a lot indie game developers to sell their games, so I thought it'd be fitting to put it up there. 2, Steam and the Play Store have a fee you have to pay to sell your game there, which I mean fair enough, but I'm poor so I decided to just not use them, plus it's my first game so it's probably not appropriate to put it there anyway. After that, I plan to do the marketing. Now, you might ask, Stick, i.e. me, how did you do your marketing? And the answer to that is, this video. This video is basically the only form of marketing that I'm doing. And that's basically it. That's how I made my first video game in only 3 weeks with no experience. Actually, it's more like 2 weeks and 3 days, but I didn't realize this until I was in the middle of writing the script, so let's just say it was 3 weeks. If you'd actually like to play my game, Cloud Jumpers, the links to the itch.io and Game Jolt pages are in the description, and so is my Twitter. I recently just made it, so there's not a lot to see, but I should be posting stuff there more often maybe. Also, while you're down there, make sure to like and subscribe, it really helps me a lot and it will be greatly appreciated. Also comment down below what game or any other stuff I should make next. Your presence is greatly appreciated. See ya.